So, question to everyone that's going to watch this: should we dictate someone's ideology, someone's party affiliation based on if they're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, two or more races, Middle Eastern, South Asian, Alaskan? So, should a black person be dehumanized because they're a Republican? Or should they be respected because they want to keep their money? They don't like that their tax dollars are being funded in areas that uh, promotes terrorism, right? I mean, so they could be fiscally conservative and they could be a Republican as well. So should we dehumanize someone's party affiliation based on their race? And that's the question that I want to hear with an answer in the comments below. So let's watch this part. Please subscribe and click the bell, by the way. Everybody, I welcome everybody to this channel, by the way. Subscribe and click the bell. Share this video with your friends and family.
If we want to fight this out for the rest of this, I'm good to go. But I'm sorry.
Well, I have a question for both of you.
Ever elected again.
I have a question for both of you.
Maybe for me it's a little personal because I took a tax for 4 years.
You're right.
From people who work in that White House.
But you're still part of the Republican Party, and so are you.
Yes.
Which is bizarre to somebody like me. Well, if we're gonna talk real, let's talk real. Why are you, as a Latina, still part of the Republican Party? And why are you, having seen it firsthand, still part of the Republican
Trump's
Party?
Not the Republican Party.
Is he not?
He's not. He's
let me find my card.
He's not the one I choose to believe.
No, but I will answer you that.
80% of voters,
No, let me answer
let
me answer the question.
Sonny's being hypocritical here. Y'all do recall when Meghan McCain said that she's a liberal, when she told Sonny Hostin that she's a liberal, and Meghan McCain, and then Sonny was like, how am I a liberal? And then Meghan was like, well, I assume that you're a liberal. And then with an interview with The Cut, Sonny Hostin said that she has progressive values and conservative values. So, I mean, she's being hypocritical here.
You post as a Latina. I think the worst thing that can happen to a minority group is to have one party take you for granted and think you're going to vote for them because they have no other option, and to have another party that openly attacks and antagonizes you. And it wasn't too long ago. It wasn't Jurassic Park. It wasn't dinosaurs roaming the earth. When there were people like George W. Bush who came out and openly and publicly supported the Latino community and were able to get 44% of the vote. And so I hope that one day there are two healthy parties competing for our vote and earning our support, not taking one for granted and antagonizing the other. That doesn't help
and on
anybody.
that, I agree with
Liz Cheney.
Yeah, I'm personally not a fan of George W. Bush with the whole propaganda with the whole Iraqi war. And I just don't simply agree that you should dehumanize somebody based on their party affiliation, if they're black, if they're a minority, if they're a person of color. I normally ask someone, if we're talking politics, if they're black, what's their party affiliation, if that is the topic that we're talking about. I'm not going to directly assume that they're a Democrat, although stats show that minorities like Arabs and black people are typically Democrats. They more are inclined to be for the Democratic Party because of social issues. But, I just don't like the era we are in now because of what Trump did to create this sort of huge division. I just don't like it. I don't. And I just wish that everyone could be at peace and vote because of their ideology versus voting because they are in a cult, whether it's with a Kamala Harris Biden cult or whether it's a Mike Pence Donald Trump cult. It's like, if you choose to be pro-life and if you choose to be saving your money and don't want to spend taxes on government and just being pro Second Amendment, pro NRA, pro whatever, then yeah, if you're going to be a Republican, that's good. That's cool for you. If you are police reform, if you're about affordable health care through government, if you are, whatever the left co-signs about, then that's okay as well. It's a two-party system that is a part of history, and it's not going to go away. And so I think we just, as Americans, need to live in a world where we can accept one another and also be grateful that we're able to have shoes, to go to school, to be able to go to the grocery store, to be able to have an education without, worrying about being succumbed to extremist groups. Like women here are allowed to have an education. It's not like that in other parts of the world, right? When they are under tyranny government, right? So just appreciate life, and don't view shows like this or like Fox News or whatever show that pinpoints a certain party as a general brush when it's not like that. Because the other day I met this funny, hilarious Republican woman at the store, and we had a conversation, and she told me how much respect and how much peace and how much her and her husband prays for where my parents come from in Palestine. And I was like, I'm glad you say that, because the media paints Republicans as one brush, and it's not entirely true. And I just wish they stopped, because they're creating this divide. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell. Thank you so much for the support. Like I said, everyone is welcome here. This is not a partisan channel. I'm just tired of the divide, y'all. And I'm sure everyone else is tired of it as well. All right? Deuces. Yay, yay.